Have you ever been erased while standing in a room full of people who claim they love you? My family unveiled a beautiful mural with 115 family names for my parents' anniversary celebration. I searched every branch, every leaf, every corner. My name wasn't there. When I asked why, my mother said they figured I wouldn't want to be included anyway. What I did next made their oversight go viral worldwide. If you've ever felt invisible in your own family, hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video if you believe everyone deserves to be seen and valued, and drop a comment about a time you felt excluded by people who should have protected you. This story proves that sometimes the best revenge is simply telling the truth. Let's dive in. My name is Megan. I'm 29 years old, and I've spent most of my life trying to figure out how to belong in my own family. Growing up, I always felt like I was watching everyone else from behind glass. I could see them laughing, connecting, sharing inside jokes, but I could never quite break through to join them. I'm autistic, though I didn't have that word for most of my childhood. I just knew I was different, wrong, somehow, like a phone that looked perfectly normal but could never quite get a signal. I spent years studying my family like they were homework assignments, trying to decode the secret language of eye contact, small talk, and social cues that came so naturally to everyone else. I learned to make eye contact for exactly 3 seconds before looking away. I practiced nodding at the right moments, smiling when others laughed, staying quiet when the conversation flowed around me like water around a stone. By the time I was 12, I'd read more books about body language and social skills than most adults ever would. And still, I was always a beat behind, always a little too much or not enough. My siblings, my older brother Jake and younger sister Sarah, were effortlessly charismatic. Their jokes always landed, especially when they were about me. The way I spoke too formally, the way I went silent when overwhelmed, the way I corrected people when they got facts wrong. My parents would laugh along, saying things like, "Oh, that's just Megan being Megan," or "You do sound like a robot sometimes, sweetie." I thought if I could just fix myself enough, study hard enough, contribute enough, I'd finally earn my place at their table. So I became the family's silent supporter. When my parents struggled with property taxes, I quietly transferred money. When someone needed help with a family emergency, I was the one who covered the gap. When it was time to chip in for wedding gifts or birthday presents, I always sent more than my share without being asked. I told myself this was love. This was how I could matter to them, even if I couldn't charm them the way Jake and Sarah could. The night that changed everything was my parents' 30th wedding anniversary. They'd planned this big celebration at their house, the same house where I'd grown up feeling like a guest who'd overstayed her welcome. The whole place smelled like pot roast and red wine, that heavy, warm smell of a house full of people who belong together. I walked in wearing my best dress, having practiced small talk in the car, ready to play my part as the quiet daughter who smiles and contributes and doesn't cause trouble. The house was packed with relatives I saw maybe once a year, everyone holding crystal glasses and talking over each other in that comfortable chaos that families create. My cousin Ashley was clicking across the hardwood floors in her heels, and Uncle Mike's booming laugh cut through every conversation. There was this energy in the air, like everyone was waiting for something special to happen. Then Sarah grabbed Mom's arm and announced, "Okay, everyone, it's time for the big reveal." The entire crowd, probably 40 people, squeezed into the front hallway. I found myself pushed toward the back, trying to see over shoulders and around heads. Someone had hung a sheet over something large on the wall. When they pulled that sheet away, I heard this collective gasp of appreciation. It was beautiful, a massive family tree mural painted directly on the wall, stretching from floor to ceiling. Gold paint traced intricate branches, and every leaf contained a name written in elegant calligraphy. I watched people point and exclaim as they found their own names, their children's names, even family pets had little leaves. "Oh, there's Grandma Betty. Look, they included baby Connor. Even Max the dog got a spot." I started scanning the branches, looking for my own name. At first I figured I just hadn't spotted it yet. There were so many names, so many branches. I traced my eyes methodically from the trunk upward, following each branch, reading each leaf. Jake's name was there, front and center. Sarah's name was prominently displayed. All my cousins, my aunts and uncles, family friends, even people who'd married into the family recently. 115 names total, according to the little plaque at the bottom. But no Megan. The first emotion wasn't anger. It was a shame. that burning, crawling heat that starts at the back of your neck and spreads downward. The kind of shame that makes you feel naked in a crowded room, like everyone can see exactly how little you matter, even if no one's saying it out loud. I excused myself to the bathroom, locked the door, and pressed my palms against the cool tile wall while my chest felt like it was on fire. Family tree murals don't happen by accident. Someone sketches them first. Someone approves the design. Someone pays for them. At some point during this entire process, someone thought of me and then deliberately decided not to include me. When I came back, I forced a smile and kept my voice casual. Don't you think someone might be missing from the mural? My mother didn't even pause in her conversation. She smoothed her napkin and said, "Oh, we figured you wouldn't want to be on it anyway." Dad chuckled and added, "Yeah, you'd probably just call it sentimental nonsense." And that was it. My erasure sealed with a laugh and a shrug, like they'd done me a favor by excluding me. I nodded, grabbed my coat, and walked out. Nobody stopped me, nobody followed. Nobody even seemed to notice I was leaving. That night, I didn't call or text demanding an explanation. I didn't post anything dramatic on social media. Instead, I opened a folder on my computer of financial records I'd been keeping for years. All those quiet transfers to help with property taxes, all those family emergency funds that somehow always meant Megan covers what we forgot, all the Venmo requests for group gifts that I'd fulfilled without question. I canceled every automatic transfer, closed every shared account. The next time a family group chat asked for money for flowers or gifts, I didn't respond. At first, they didn't notice. Then came the messages. Jake's voice note was sweet and rehearsed. "Hey sis, we missed you at brunch last weekend. You know we love you, right? By the way, could you send your share for Mom's birthday gift?" I didn't reply. For once, silence worked in my favor. Then something unexpected happened. A conference on neurodiversity contacted me about giving a keynote speech. They'd read an essay I'd written about masking, about autistic women burning out from trying to appear normal all the time. I almost deleted the email. Public speaking terrifies me. My throat closes up, my tongue gets twisted, my voice shakes. But maybe that was exactly the point. So I stood on that stage, bright lights hot on my face, looking out at over 1,000 people. And I told them a story about a woman who spent her whole life quietly contributing to a family that painted her out of their history. Imagine, I said, my voice getting stronger with each word, being so thoroughly erased that when your family creates a permanent monument to their love, there's no space for you. Not because you weren't there, but because they decided you didn't belong. I talked about the mural with 115 names. I talked about the automatic assumption that I wouldn't want to be included. I talked about the years of financial support that somehow never earned me basic recognition. The audience was dead silent. Then someone started clapping. Then another person. Within seconds, the entire auditorium was on their feet, not out of pity, but out of recognition. These were people who understood what it felt like to be systemically ignored, to have their contributions minimized, to be treated as optional by the people who should value them most. I never mentioned my family by name, but the speech was recorded and posted online. Within 48 hours, it had millions of views. Comments poured in from people sharing their own stories of family exclusion. News outlets picked it up. Suddenly, the mural speech was everywhere. That's when people started connecting the dots. Sarah had built her personal brand around inclusivity and acceptance. She ran workshops on family harmony and had a popular Instagram account about creating loving homes. When people realized that the woman advocating for inclusion had literally excluded her own sister from a family mural, the backlash was swift and brutal. Her workshop bookings were canceled. Her social media followers started asking pointed questions. Brand partnerships evaporated. Jake's small business, which relied heavily on family connections and word-of-mouth referrals, suddenly found clients backing away. My parents, who had always been pillars of their church community, started getting uncomfortable questions about why their daughter wasn't welcome in their family celebration. Sarah's response was predictable. She sued me for defamation, claiming my speech had damaged her reputation and caused financial losses. Because apparently, telling the truth becomes defamation when it costs someone money. But here's what she didn't anticipate. The lawsuit only made the story bigger. News outlets love a good David versus Goliath story, especially when Goliath is suing David for having the audacity to talk about being excluded. The legal documents had to be specific about what exactly I'd said that was supposedly false. They couldn't identify a single untrue statement. I had been excluded from the mural. I had financially supported the family for years. They had assumed I wouldn't want to be included without ever asking me. The lawsuit was quietly dropped 6 months later, but by then the damage was done. My speech had spawned a whole movement of people sharing their stories of family exclusion. Mural moment became shorthand for those times when families reveal exactly how little they value certain members. As for me, I kept that image in my mind. Not the blank space where my name should have been, but the moment when 1,000 people rose to their feet because they finally heard someone name what they'd experienced too. I had been erased quietly, but I reclaimed myself loudly, without ever raising my voice. Sometimes the cruelest exclusions happen in plain sight, disguised as family traditions or harmless oversights. But when someone shows you who you really are to them, believe them the first time. And remember, the only way to answer erasure is to exist so fully, so undeniably, that no one can paint you out again. If this story hit close to home, smash that like button and subscribe for more stories about people who refuse to accept being invisible. Drop a comment and tell me, what's the most hurtful way family has excluded you? And remember, your worth isn't determined by whether others choose to see it. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply refuse to disappear. Until next time, keep making yourself heard.